Hello and welcome to all of you in my class. I am Professor Adesh Srivastav. Today I'll be discussing DDL, the Data Definition Language. The full form of DDL is Data Definition Language. Data Definition Language helps you to define the database structure or schema. DDL commands help you to create the structure of the database and other database objects. Its commands are auto-committed, so the changes are saved in the database permanently. DDL also defines additional properties of the data defined in the database as the domain of the attributes. The data definition language also provide the facility to specify some constraint that would maintain the data consistency. What are benefits of DDL? It allows you to store shared data, data independence, improved integrity, and it allows multiple users. Apart from this, improved security, efficient data access. So these are the benefits of DDL. By this we can understand that how much beneficial it is. So number one is stored shared data, means we can share all the data that is stored. That's true. Data independence, improved integrity, means it improves the integrity because of data independence and allows multiple users. So all the users, many users in fact can be accessed together. So improved security, efficient data access. These are the benefits of DDL. One can notice that DDL only defines the columns, that is attributes of the table. Like other programming language, DDL also accept the command and produce output that is stored in the data dictionary, which is metadata. Now here is a term metadata. Let me explain it here only. What is metadata? Metadata is nothing but data about data, right? That is data that is contained in the data dictionary. That is what it is written in the last line, that output that is stored in the data dictionary. So data dictionary is nothing but the metadata in which the data about the data is stored, means where the data is stored, its physical location and all, everything is written in that data dictionary. So that is called data about data. In technical language we call it metadata. I hope this is clear to you all. After that, now we come to the types of DDL commands. There are some DDL commands, so few of them we will be discussing it here. Number one is create. Create statement is used to define the database structure schema. The syntax is create table, then table name, in comma, in parentheses, in braces, column name, data types, like that. For example, create database university, create table student, create view for students. So these are the various uses of create command. I hope this must be clear to you. Now we switch to the next command. Rather, we'll take some more example of create table command. So create table command, you can if you want to create a table, this is the complete structure of that command. Create table, then table name, and within small quotes we write all the column name with their data type and specify null or not null. I hope you must be knowing about this specification, that is null or not null. I'll discuss it here just now. So here the parameter table name denotes the name of the table that you are going to create. It may be any name that you wish to give, number one. Then after, the parameter column 1 and column 2 denotes the columns to be added to the table. These columns in fact are the fields, right? A column should be specified as either null or not null. If you don't specify, SQL Server will take null as the default. Null means there will be no value. So null is what? Null is no value. It does not mean it is zero, because zero is also a value. So here it will contain no value. So you have to specify not null as you want to give the values here. So the complete example will be like this: create table student, then in braces, student ID and their type int is the integer type, thereafter comma, and then student name, and then again the variable type, that is varchar, means it will be character variable, and the length of that will be 10, and thereafter the braces closed. So this is the complete example of create table command. I hope you must have understood. Then we come to the drop command. Drop commands are remove table and databases from RDBMS. The syntax is drop table. It's very simple. For example, drop object type, object name, or drop database university, or drop table student. So these are various uses of drop command. Then we move to another command, that is alter. Alter command allows you to alter the structure of the database. The syntax is to add a new column in the table. Suppose you have made a column, you have made a table and you want to add a new column in the table. So for that, alter table, table name, add column name, and then column definition. So to modify an existing column in the table, what we will do? We will give command like this, alter table modify, and in the braces column definition, and braces close and semicolon. So for example, alter table student, add subject varchar. So what we will be doing? We will be adding another column, that is subject, in the table student, and its data type we have mentioned, that is varchar, means it will be character type. So I hope these examples must have made the alter command clear to you. So we come to the next command, that is truncate. This command uses to delete all the rows from the table and free space containing the table. So truncate is the command to delete all the rows from the table and free the space containing the table. Means it will clear the rows and free the space from containing the table. Right? The syntax will be truncate table and then table name. For example, truncate table students. So you had created a table student, but by this you are deleting the rows and freeing the space. But there is a point. Earlier you have learned about alter command, before that you have learned about drop command. There is a difference between drop and truncate. See, there is a fine line between this. Drop command removes table and databases from RDBMS. Means if you give the drop command, it will permanently delete all that thing what you have given. But in case of truncate command, what will do? It will delete the rows only and free the space, but it will not delete the entire table. Table structure will remain. After that, we have rename command. Rename command is used to rename the content in the database. Columns can also be given a new name with the use of alter table. The syntax is alter table name, rename column, old name to new name. So this is the command, alter table name, and then rename column, old name to new name. So old name will be the name what the previously existing name. Now what you want to give the name, so that will be the new name. So by this, with the use of alter table command and rename command will be used. I hope this is clear to you all. We switch to now DML, that is data manipulation language. DML commands, it allows you to manage data stored in the database, although DML commands are not auto-committed. So DML commands are what? It is data manipulation language. We will use these commands to manage the stored data in the database. The DDL command were the commands which we were using to define the data, define the structure of the table, define the structure of the database. But now we have created the structure, we have created the table, we have created the database. Now what we'll do, we are going to modify it, we are going to retrieve it, we are going to fetch it. So they are not permanent. DML commands are not permanent. So it is possible to roll back the operation. The full form of DML is data manipulation language. Now let us proceed to the commands of data manipulation language. Benefits of DML. What are the benefits of data manipulation language? The DML statements allow you to modify the data stored in a database. Users can specify what data is needed. The DML offers many different flavors and capabilities between database vendors. It offers an efficient human interaction with the system. So these are the benefits of data manipulation language commands. Command for data manipulation language are: number one is insert command. This is a statement that is a SQL query. In fact, we use these commands with the help of SQL query, right? So the syntax will be insert into table name, and then in small quotes we use column 1, column 2, column 3 and up to column n. Then quotes close, then values, and within parenthesis value 1, value 2, value 3 and up to value n are insert into table name values, and then in parenthesis value 1, value 2 up to value n. So what will be the example? Insert into students. Suppose you are going to insert something into student. So what we'll have, we are actually adding a new record, right? So in the student table, so the command will be insert into student, then roll number, first name and last name. So these are the three things that we want to insert. So that we have mentioned first. Thereafter values, and we will now fill all the values of the given three columns, and all the values will be in single comma, in single quotes separated by comma, and the parenthesis close, and then after semicolon. With the semicolon, that is end of the command or termination of the command, which gives us a sign that command is complete. So this is insert command. Thereafter, the elaborated example of insert command. First we begin insert into, then table name, column 1, column 2, column 3 as it is, values, value 1, value 2, value 3, and then end. So this is the complete insert command. The above syntax shows the insert into command. The table name and values are mandatory fields, whereas column names are not mandatory. If the insert statement have values for all the columns of the table, the keyword values is mandatory if the values are given separately as shown above. Now we come to update command. This command is used to update or modify the value of a column in the table. The syntax is update table name, set, and then bracket. Column name 1 is equal to value 1 dash dash, column name n is equal to value n, where, and then condition. This will be in a separate bracket. For example, update student, set first name is equal to John, last name Vic, where student ID is 3. Means what? We are going to update that particular record where student ID is 3. So this where student ID 3 is the condition, means it is going to update the command where the student ID is 3. It will update that record only. So this is all about update command. Thereafter we come to delete command. This command is used to remove one or more rows from a table. Delete from table name where condition in brackets and semicolon. Example will be delete from a student where first name is equal to John. So it will delete all the data where the first name it will get as a John. So all the data where first name is John, it will delete all that rows. Then types of DML. There are two types of DML, procedural DML and declarative DML. These are two types, where procedural DML describes what data is to be retrieved and also how to get that data. Declarative DML only describe what data is to be retrieved. It does not describe how to get that data. Declarative DMLs are easier as the user has only to specify what data is required. What are the main differences of DDL and DML? The first is data definition language helps you to define the database structure or schema, where data manipulation language or DML command allows you to manage the data stored in the database. Number two, DDL command is used to create the database schema, where the DML command is used to populate and manipulate the database. In DDL, the commands are create, alter, drop, truncate, and comment and rename, etc. Whereas in DML, these are insert, update, delete, merge, call, etc. In DDL, it defines the column of the table. In DML, it adds or updates the rows of the table. In DDL, SQL commands can not be rolled back, whereas in DML, SQL commands can be rolled back. So these are the main differences of DDL and DML. So I hope this must be clear to you what are the main differences of DDL and DML. So we come to the conclusion that for forming a database language, both DDL and DML is necessary, as they both will be required to form and access the database. I hope this must be pretty clear to all of you, because with the DDL, what we'll be doing, we'll be defining our data, that is database. We'll be defining our database, and with DML, what we'll be doing, we'll be retrieving the data, we'll be fetching the data, we'll be manipulating the data actually. So both are necessary. So I hope these DDL and DML commands must be clear to you all, and by this we come to the conclusion that DDL and DML both are necessary, as they are actually the mutual required, and both of these are simultaneously required to complete the desired task. So I hope the session must be easy and understandable to you all. In case of any problem, you are free to ask offline and online always. Thank you all for watching and listening patiently. Thanks a lot.